And sometimes I think we very often don't make that, and you can see when you stand back where exactly it is for you, but I think we often don't make it come down far enough along the nose. Now really what I'd recommend there is changing the colour then for the bridge of the nose so that it's, you know, that colour could have been maybe an orange, something warmer, so that it really reads as being light falling on the nose. Anyway, so this would be the eye on the other side. It's just the shape, forgetting that it's an eye or anything, just getting the shape where the eye socket meets the nose.
Yes, and I think I've kind of been hedging that because it's actually quite narrow. I think
it's a narrow shape,
where this one and that one meet, it's actually quite, I've made it wider than it is actually in reality, I think.
Well, I think what maybe could happen here is that the eyebrow could lift a little bit. Yeah. So let me just do the span across. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because I think that how the eye sockets relate to one another will really settle down what's happening, what's going on here. Because you want more, I think you need more length here.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want to skimp on the space the eye will sit in, so you want it to come up a bit higher, I reckon. So anyway, so that's something of the shadow on the other side there. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly is happening there. There's a kind of a different change in direction too, but generally I think it turns quite low down from the eyebrow and then down for the tip of the nose, and I'll just indicate where I think the nostril would sit. Something like that, and the C shape at the back of the nose might be there. And then, so you were talking about the distance between the eyebrows, and that's a really good space to notice. Really check out the shape of that space. Let's see. And continue the line of this eyebrow and see where it would enter and exit the other one. That will kind of help to locate it. And see the length of that part of the eyebrow in relation to the length of this part. That again shows you the two planes of the head, the front plane and the side plane. And then from there, what I recommend is forgetting that it's an eye. Don't do anything about the eye, but just look at where the shadow of the eye socket stops and the light that's on the nose starts. And there's a nice kind of a shadow that runs down the nose there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
But really what you're looking mostly at is these two bits, the edge of that there and the edge of it there. And then it can kind of dissipate into the rest of the face. But I think it being a little bit higher will mean that you have you have enough space to give a feel of the length
Of the face,
here. You know, if it's not high enough, even by a centimetre, it'll make a huge difference to the feeling of length. And then, as I was saying to somebody on the other side of the room, there's a general slant back the way, so from the tip of the nose, and you can locate it with the vertical that's of the window frame or something, and see how, as it comes back the way, there's a kind of a direction back the way, and eventually it's almost like a vertical drop then for the edge of the chin. So I think it's not so much a vertical all the way. I think it needs to come a bit more diagonally here.
Yeah, right.
And then it'll encourage the tip of the nose out slightly. If you know that the mouth is... Would you agree with that there's a kind of a slant out the way?
Yeah.
A little bit. Like there's a bit of light. There's a bit of light there that represents the other side of the face.
Yes,
you don't have to see it.
That,
yeah, if you see it, that's handy. And then there'll be the upper lip kind of there-ish. And I think it is helpful for there to be that undulating thing happening where it's not up and down the way. It needs to, I think, come back like that. And in for the shadow that's there. And then the chin. Yeah. Yeah, and you'd be using a bigger brush than that now to describe this because, you know, but some parts of it you would want to use the middle-sized one. Is there the one in between the two? Yeah, because I'd say that's the size that you need to best do these moves in succinct, you know.
Yeah, in there.
Just short little moves.
And just bring that eyebrow up.
I think bring that eyebrow up a bit. Yeah. Yeah, and find this direction too in the chin. See how it's all very kind of down and over, and really there's more than that happening here. There's undulating. Each change in direction is a very satisfying thing to observe and translate. So see if you can really do that by looking at the vertical beside it. See how much each change in direction relates to the vertical of the window frame.
So do you think
And don't forget these angles.
No, do you think I've got the position of the end of his nose wrong and that mouth wrong as well? I'm just looking, there's the tip of his ear, which is probably, yeah, that's possibly. Just looking
Yeah,
at
I
it.
think maybe the nose might tilt up a bit, but it'll naturally tilt up when you extend it further
Yeah.
out. It needs to be further out, it needs to be further to the right than this part of the forehead.
Right.
So the nose is needing to extend
A little bit
further
further,
than that area there.
And his
And
forehead
then-
is actually quite slanted too.
Yeah, that's true. It's slanted a little bit more, so the forehead might come to that dot, and your nose might come out to, something like out there, maybe. And then I think it will be the right height as well, because you're keeping to that angle, I would say. That's a really well chosen angle. And I think where you've got the line dividing the lips is fine then too. And it's just then about creating volume in the upper lip
Yeah.
in order to explain the form there.
Yeah.
And this line, I didn't realise this before, but that's a very important angle to get and make it long enough. See the way it tilts up, and then there's a point of intersection here where it stops going that way and starts going that way for
Yeah.
the jaw. Find out where that
That
is.
is. Yeah. Right. A bit of rubbing
Okay.
out is required, I think.
Well, maybe applying the paint, because none of what you've done is too dark
No.
that you can't
Yeah.
retrieve it.
I might
So
use that 'cause it's
rather
going to
than,
distract me.
okay, only anything that distracts you, but please don't be ages rubbing out, because it's nothing. It's about building on what's already there and adjusting what's already there. That'll really make your painting. And in the past, I've seen it make your painting. I think that's the thing. That so avoid feeling like you're rubbing out a mistake. You're building on what you've already observed and only more keenly observing now what needs to happen.
Right. Thanks.
So I would go with applying rather than retracting.
Right.
And that brush.
That one, the middle size
Yeah.
one.
Do you normally have your water up here?
Yeah, well, it's